Guys, we are back. Episode 54 of Clash of the Podcast. It's been a long time coming, but this episode had to be done. My brother Sean hit me up. We were talking about what are we going to talk about this week? What do we want to do? What's the next big thing for us to talk about? And Sean touched on something that I think we could touch on with both companies, and it was the idea of the issue. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, and our issues with WWE and AEW. This is kind of like a State of the Union address. We're going to kind of just give our complaints. We're also going to give our positives too. We're not going to just completely dump on them, but we got some things that we want to say right now when it comes to this. I can't help but myself to think that I am forgetting something. Maybe I'm forgetting to do something.
Do something. You do this every week. I don't understand. You should be used to this by now, my brother. You're the best in the business, but it's okay. That's what I'm here for. Conrad, drop that thing.
It is another beautiful Monday with Clash of the Podcast coming at you. If this is your first time listening to us, I'm Conrad Cushman. I represent everything pro wrestling. Right next to me is my tag team partner, Sean Hubbard, representing Hubbard Wrestling Weekly, the best in combat sports that you can get to. And together, we are Clash of the Podcast. We give our thoughts, talking about a little pro wrestling for you guys every Monday, live at 6:05. Tell your friend, tell your nana, tell whoever you want that likes pro wrestling, come on in. It's a good conversation to get some opinions listened to. Sean, how are you?
I'm doing well, man. Doing well. Went to the gym today. I'm in pain, but good pain, you know what I'm saying, on my journey, and feeling good about it, man. You know, you get a little tiny bit more motivation when you pay for something. And I'm officially a paid member of a gym now. No free publicity, not naming no names, no free publicity. You want a sponsorship, you give us the money. But I'm very excited about, doing my thing. So, good hurt. I've heard good things from you about that good hurt. So I'm happy to be feeling it today.
I just left the gym, but I had a very weird encounter at the gym today.
Uh-oh.
Very weird. I'll bring it up. I don't care, guys. We can talk about this. Everybody in the chat, get your hellos in or whatever. I'm going to read them in 1 second. But today at the gym, I had a young lady who was there. Never seen her before. So usually the people at the gym, and they just moved me to a new gym, bunch of young kids. It's right next to the big college campus here. And this lady was in there wearing gloves, like plastic see-through gloves. And then anytime I did something, so when I was first in there, I'm a big dude, my shirt's lifting up, and I don't want my stomach to be exposed or something like that, self-conscious. So I'm like, I'm about to tuck my shirt in and finish these reps. I do that, then the lady goes, excuse me. And I'm like, who is this lady? So I take the earpiece out that I have in, the earbuds, and she goes, you may want to wash your hands and your earphones after, because you just put your hands, to tuck in your pants or whatever. I'm like, who is this lady? One of those, like, very clean, like, I was like, don't push your OCD onto me while doing this. You know what I mean? Like, I wipe down everything when I go to the gym, but that was just very awkward. I was like, do you work here? And she was just like, she gave me the weirdest look back, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, why would you do something like that? Very weird. Don't overstep is my quote of the day to people. Don't overstep your boundaries, because eventually I think someone's going to say something to her, or it's going to get bad. And I just told them today, I was like, yeah, y'all got to nip that in the bud or figure out something to do with that.
May I give my 2 cents on this matter?
Go ahead.
So, it's the way you described what you did. Anybody with any sense would know that comment was not warranted, okay? But even if you thought it was warranted, you have your own spray, you have your own paper towels. When the light-skinned gentleman with the glasses finishes with the machine, Wipe it down yourself.
Crazier part, Sean, I wasn't even on a machine at that time.
Really?
Yeah, I was in front of, like, you know how they have like the field area. I was just lifting free weights, bro.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
And I was like, what are you doing?
Ridiculous.
Just weird, bro. You know, I'm not gonna make a big deal of it. You know what? I actually went and did it for her. I'm like, if this will make her feel better, here you go. Look, I was like, you see, you good? Like, now get away from me. That was kind of the.
For about the 54th time on our 54th episode, I'm gonna say this phrase: "You're a better man than me."
You know, but I didn't want to start nothing because here's the thing.
I would have started on the whole
Clash of the podcast is what I was thinking about, though, because I'm like, listen, I got to get back. I don't need nothing else derailing, because you know how it is. I tell you, I drop everything as soon as I'm done. I go to the gym, then I come right back here to shower and do whatever I got to do. That would have killed more time if I would have started arguing with her. And I was like, you know what? I'm not in the mood to argue. I'm like, if this makes you feel better, great. Because at first I was like, does she work here? After I went to do it, I'm like, does she work here? And when I left out, I even had to ask homie, I'm like, does she work here? He was like, no, she's crazy, bro. And I was like, okay, thank you.
Well, you had your story, and I want to make a quick quote. A la Mr. McKinney, he likes to give us quotes. We'll get to his quote in a second. But I have something just came to my mind because I was watching an old Clash of the Champions on the network. And I just
me too this weekend.
I just want to say Bobby Heenan was right all along. And if you guys can think about what I'm talking about without me saying it, because I can say it, it's nothing I can't say on the show. But I just want you guys to think about what I could possibly mean. Bobby Heenan had been saying this for years, and we all thought he was being a hater, being a heel, being a jerk. Bobby Heenan was right the whole time. Kyra, you know what I'm talking about?
I'm guessing about Hogan.
That's exactly right.
Never wrong about that. Believe that.
Wow.
Dude.
What's up, man? How you feel? How are you feel? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm fine.
My man.
I've got no issues, but I had to share. It had to be story time here for a second to get into some of that stuff. You know, we're gonna get into a lot of this. Let's give our welcomes, and then guys, well thought out answers today. I'm being so dead serious. Like, I want great points, great talking points. I shared this in a lot of places, so if anyone picks this up, I want to hear good points about WWE and AEW, because that's what we're going to be focusing in on today. By the way, if no one checked out Victory Road, good pay-per-view. I believe you can get the replay on Fight. I had an incredible time watching that one. It was a lot of fun. And I'm looking forward to watching Impact 1000 coming up this week as well. So make sure you guys check that out. A lot of surprises I heard, but I haven't seen I'm trying to avoid spoilers. Mm-hmm. Sir Quills, first one in here. What up, Conrad? Sean, your boy Sir Quills is back for another dope episode of the best wrestling podcast in the game. Clash of the Podcast. I'm here to enjoy wrestling talk before the Bills game. Who you telling, brother? Who you telling? Bills Mafia, baby.
Quilly!
Let's go. Them Jets going down. Joel in the house. Hey, guys, let's do this. What up, Joel?
Joel, appreciate you, man.
UFC and WWE merger will be great. Nothing will change either brands. I don't think it's not a merger technically, right? I know we all keep saying that. It's like they're forming one big company and they're going to be like umbrellas off of it. So if you hear us say merger, that's not correct. I just wanted to preface that because I know someone's going to say it again. Doug.
Time out. Doug, we got you, Doug. Nice shirt, my G.
Oh, thank you.
Nice shirt.
Thank you. This is for the comic book fans.
You don't listen. Let me go over. I'm gonna preface this before I say my comment, because if I don't preface it, it's gonna sound like a diss. I've seen you swaggy when you feel like being swaggy. Okay, so that's the preface. You're not typically swaggy for the show, but today's super swaggy.
See, this is not super swaggy to me. This is definitely like a dad shirt. This is my dad shirt, rocking around the house.
It looks good, Playboy.
I like it. It matches the hat, though. That's another reason why I wore it, because I wanted to wear my Bills. I had to wear some Bills paraphernalia on here, I felt.
I'm a Giant fan. I'll leave it at that.
40 burger, man. I don't even know.
I thought there's just no excuse for that. That was a disgrace.
Doug says another Monday, another Clash of the Podcast. Let's get to it. Sean, welcome and everybody covering my backside. Thank you, sir. Guy Will Gamble, what's good, everybody? Conrad was right when he said the bloodline is disintegrating. Wait,
Disintegrated.
disintegrating. It wasn't gonna matter. They were gonna get back together anyway. Listen, bro. Listen, I can't say too much more than that. Joel said, "Hey guys, hope you had a good," or "Hey guy, hope you had a good weekend." Look at Joel. Joel in here talking to everybody. I like it. A big old nothing sandwich. Doug said, "Happy Monday, everyone. What's good, BJ? Appreciate you." Let's see. I'm just trying to make sure we get to everyone. Shout out to the mass homie doing the flex on the graphic. Yeah. It took me a second to find that, actually. That graphic took a minute. I worked on that Friday night when beforehand. Let's see. Matt Lopez. Oh, excuse me.
M. Leezy. Fo. Sheezy.
Hello, everyone. Good evening to the best podcast to kick off the week. Let's go, Bills. Let's go, Matt. That's what I like to hear. Look at this. Quills knows before you even say it.
Hey, Quilly on top of things. I like it, bro.
One day I'm gonna get it right, y'all. One day I'm gonna get it right. Look at that. What I want to know is when y'all gonna acknowledge the Tiffany Stratton is the next big thing. She's been impressive. She's way better than when I first saw her. Let me see here. Adam Scheffner says shelter is in place at the Jets game. Possible talks of a cancellation. I could imagine.
It is bad out here, but I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah. Here we go. Say it loud, say it proud, Conrad. Jets, Jets. Cut it out. I got fam from there, actually. Hello to the two goats of podcasting. Connor, very kind and gracious of you, my friend. Thank you.
We appreciate you, bro.
Ryan in the house. It's weird to think that Vince McMahon will have a boss for the first time in 42 years. Is he really a boss, though? More on that in a moment. We'll talk about it. 28 gap on fantasy. Need Allen and the Jets to kick her to suck. Good luck with that, brother. Conrad encountered a Karen at the gym. I wouldn't say she was a Karen. She just had issues. Yo, I'm here to talk wrestling with the liveliest chat and the hottest podcast in wrestling world. Clash of the podcast, and let y'all know confidence only goes as far as you believe it.
Ooh.
I like it.
Always dropping nuggets, brother. Always dropping inspirational nuggets.
B Tazzy in the chat. What's good? What's going on, people? How are you guys doing? Tazzy, we are good. How are you, brother? Shout out to Tazzy, man. If you guys haven't, man, make sure you check him out. He does a lot of live streams. You know, if you guys are ever watching wrestling, want to talk it with somebody, Tazzy's probably got a stream up for you. So show him some love. Easy E in the house. What's good, E?
Welcome.
Chad in the house as well. What up, Conrad and Sean? Conrad, where's your Aaron Rodgers jersey? Chad, why are you trolling me all the time? Listen, I'm not going to get these jerseys. Everybody came to our division. This is ludicrous. This is a screw job. I'm calling this now. Why are all these people in our division? To wear us down. That's it. But you know what? I still believe in my Buffalo Bills.
You
all right?
Believe in 2023, like I told you on your show Wednesday night, 10 o'clock. The window is closing, and that's not. And yo, I'm not hating, bro. I'm not hating. Unless you guys play the Giants in the Super Bowl, I have no problem with the Buffalo Bills. The window is closing. You can't be this good for this long and not take advantage.
Well, listen. At the same token, we didn't get here for.
One nugget at you. I'm a Knicks fan. The '90s Knicks never got over the hump. All I'm gonna say. Different sports, same idea.
No, I believe you, bro. You're 1,000% correct. It's just I can't be mad at them either, because look at what they're going up against. They're getting worn down in the regular season, and then it's like, now beat the Chiefs, now beat the Bengals, and I can't believe the Bengals lost to the. I hope that's a sign of things to come, but.
Right.
And I'm sorry if Deanna's in the chat listening to that. E says Impact 1000 looks fire. It does. Doug said, why did Dreamer win? Can't have Tommy Dreamer retire. He's the best battle royal entrant that nobody ever asked for as a surprise.
Oh my God.
It's Tommy Dreamer.
Whenever that music hit, man, it was just like a big everybody getting up to get popcorn.
I love Tommy Dreamer, though, to an extent. Like, when I used to hear Man in the Box, that was my joint in ECW. He was good, man. Vinny, sup, boys? God bless. What up, Vinny? Appreciate you.
Hey.
Jocelyn on Twitch. Evening, Conrad. Hubbard chat might be asleep when you guys get to this comment, but I have you playing. Thank you.
Thank you,
It
Josh.
is appreciated.
Very sweet, very kind.
Man, Giants got stomped like Miss Jerry on that tuna fish sandwich. Chill, E. I'm a Steelers fan and we got clapped. Listen, everybody gets it, man. I'm telling you, everybody takes turns. That's a swaggy shirt.
Is what, and this is not what I think is gonna. I'm not one of these crazy Giant fans who. Oh, first of all, Daniel Jones is terrible. I don't care if he only threw 5 picks last year. Daniel Jones is terrible. He never should have got that $100-something million contract. My point is this, though. 1 in a million shot, but what a story it would be if the Giants win the Super Bowl after losing 40-0 on opening night. That's like documentary worthy, bro.
Listen, it could happen. Maybe they just had a bad night.
Yeah, bad. Oh, please. They beat us like we stole something.
We'll see. It's only week 1, too.
Yeah.
Trust me, the Bills were 5-0 one year, and then we didn't make the playoffs. Trust me, I know disappointment. Vince McMahon will own only 16% of TKO. Yes, that is probably true. Can you blame Tyreek Hill tax-free in Miami? Hey, do what you got to do, player. That's your life. My Lions beat the Super Bowl champs. Oh, yeah, they did take the L. Chiefs got upset, too. Like I said, don't believe these week 1. Don't get too hyped.
But my guy Derek. But I actually believe in the Lions. McKinney might be onto something. The Lions are good.
No, their coach is good.
Yeah.
That's a great coach that they have because he believes in them. You don't get that too often. But listen, we're 15 minutes in and we haven't even talked any.
We're having a good time, man. We're having a good time.
So listen, man, what company you want to get into first, man? It's your choice. I'm gonna let you pick because this was your idea.
WWE, a crap show, so we might as well start with them.
Really? You really think that?
AEW's not that much better, but you know. Do I really think what? The WWE's a crap show?
I don't know, man. It's tough for me. So you want to start with the E?
No, we can end up with WWE because I can tell you got you know.
I got some words for AEW.
Let's start with AEW.
Listen, and y'all know I've been called Mr. Pro AEW and all that. I got some words for y'all this week. Let's talk about it, man. AEW's dealing with a lot of stuff. Curvin, what up? What's good? You know wrestling is fake and boring. Wrestling is fake.
Wow.
I mean, listen, bro. It's as fake as the TV shows you watch, bro. What are you talking about? Come on. Let's talk with me. What's your favorite TV show? You think that's real? None of this is real. This is all entertainment, my guy. All right?
I'm just trying to no shit, Conrad. You know me. I'm not spazzing out. You know when I spaz out, I'm not spazzing out. If you don't like wrestling,
why are you in here? I try to be nice, bro. I try to be nice.
All right. Okay.
Because you know, I'll get real Phil Brooks real quick. Y'all already know if someone's siding with CM Punk, you better be careful when you're around them. Right. Like, yeah, I don't see an issue with what he did. Go ahead, pop off. But listen, and Doug, I see your comment here about prime time. I see you. I see you talk about prime time.
I called you, man. Didn't I tell you about Coach Prime? Yo, I'm a Notre Dame fan. We talked about it on the show. I'm cheering for Colorado. I would love to see Prime shock the world. Go ahead. Let's stay focused.
No, we're good, man. Let's talk this though. AEW, they are in a position to do something here.
Mm-hmm.
They promised to come in and change the wrestling world, and I think they have. I think they've made wrestling better for the people in it right now. As a big thing,
made wrestling better because they exist.
Correct. And you know what though? It's a good existence though. This isn't like TNA where like the money got stopped eventually, and then it exists, but what does it do?
Mm-hmm.
This does something. AEW does something. Tony Khan's got the pockets to get Edge. I've got the pockets to get a CM Punk, Samoa Joe, Bryan Danielson. He's taking these people from WWE when they let them go or whatever happens. Mm-hmm. So Tony's got something to offer. The difference is, so does Vince McMahon. But I will say they've made the wrestling world better. It's gotten people bigger contracts. Randy Orton used it to his leverage at one point, taking a picture of something. I think it was like at a hotel, it said like the Elite Suite, and he was like, Yeah. AEW, look me up, Vince. What's my contract gonna be? Now we gotta pay him more. What's Tony offering him? And I'm sure everybody talks to them. Don't let this be known. This is one big game. Everybody's playing the same person. That's how it goes. Let me see here. Because because oh really? My mother. You know, Kerwin, you have the IQ of mayonnaise, I'm pretty sure. So we're gonna just boot you out. You're a clown. Bye. Have a good day. And if anyone sees him come in, boot him out. He's done. You're cut.
Chat. I'm always the one who loses my freaking mind when somebody says something stupid. I promised Conrad I would. Thank you, Conrad. I was about to lose my crap, bro. Thank you.
I wasn't even looking at the chat, y'all, just so you know.
Oh my God. Thank you so much.
We don't deal with lames in here.
Yo, chat, you know me. I was about to spaz on that dude. And I was like,
if you guys ever see someone cutting up like that in the chat, you can boot them out. Whoever's a mod, Ace, whomever's in here, you can boot them. Like, I don't have time for them.
Let's get back to it.
Back to it though. WWE's doing AEW's doing a lot of good things. It helped WWE up their game. They had to get better. Did they get better fully? We can talk about that. But I see many positives with AEW. There's more action figures for people. There's more merch. There's more choices. There's wrestling for adults versus we market towards kids. And you're kind of like, well, I want to watch wrestling, but it's for kids. What do I do in this situation? There's a company that's trying to get you. They want you. They want Sean. They want Conrad. They want the fan who feels like they've been lapsed because we were always a focus for WWE until we weren't. We're not anymore. So AEW is trying to do some good things with that. That's how I see it. I mean, if you've got positive, what positives has AEW brought since coming into this?
I'll be honest. Like they brought a lot as far as marketability to the world of professional wrestling. Having a major whatever. He's always getting at me. Basically, for me, it's like AEW, like I said, is quality because it exists. It gives WWE a reason to look twice. It's a second major promotion in the United States. All due respect to Impact, I don't consider Impact a major organization. But it's strong, but it's not. AEW has definitely taken over as the second biggest American promotion in the world, right? So, because it exists, it allows us to have options, which is always better for wrestling. Unfortunately, lately it seems like they're getting a little bit complacent.
Okay, and we can get into some of that. I want to get to some of the positive comments here real quick. Let's see here. Matt Lopez says TK got the pockets to get Final Countdown and played freaking Queen and Metallica songs. He's got bread. He does things that are cool. You know what I mean? Like that was a cool thing for him to do. Would Vince ever do that? No. But it was cool that TK would. McKinney says AEW is great for the wrestling business and its employees, but at the same time, they're killing angles, stipulations, and moves. But it's cool to see new stars being born, but the booking sucks. Let's see here. Matt says if you have time to come on a pro wrestling podcast, the best pro wrestling, you have too much time on your hands. I don't know what you mean. Mox is made for a 13-year-old male demo. Come on now. Had my hands full, but I was more than ready to swing that band hammer. Appreciate you, BJ. AEW existing makes pro wrestling great, and it makes Impact Wrestling step up their game and NWA. I think Impact Wrestling's actually pretty good. Their issue, see, the hardest thing is when you're owned by a cable company. I guess we'll get on the smaller guys here for a minute or second. Sean, did you ever see Impact as a viable number 2? Ever? I mean, in its existence.
I saw it as a viable number 2 for one night.
January 4th, 2010.
Yep, one night. And I think that's indicative of the problems that Impact has. It's small potatoes. I love Impact, but it's small potatoes. That one night gave an essence of a number 2, but unfortunately, it hasn't been that way since. And we're talking about 13 years ago now.
That could be another podcast for us. The retrospective on like the Hogan Bischoff era.
Yeah, and that's and it's a lot to talk about too. It's a lot to talk about. But for me, that was the only time Impact was seen as number two. Aesthetics matter, visuals matter. You can't have pay-per-views, major shows like on WrestleMania weekend, and call it New Japan versus Impact and have it in an arena that seats 200 people. You can't do that. You just can't. And if you can't afford to do it right, don't do it. Save the money. I don't care if you have. Let me tell you something, Conrad. I don't care if Impact does Bound for Glory, and Bound for Glory is the only pay-per-view they do all year long. Do it right. Get yourself into an arena that holds 20,000 people and put 10,000 people in it if you can. It is what it is. And then, section it off and move people around and make it look good. You can't have major pay-per-views in events that hold 500 people. You can't do it.
I will say they were turning people away, I heard, at Victory Road, to be honest.
Victory Road doesn't...
No, but hear me out, though. That's good, though, Sean. You're talking about that they only have this many people now, but now they're turning people away. Maybe you should have got a bigger venue. Like, that's a sign. Like, get a bigger venue.
Westchester County Center is about 10 minutes from my house. It doesn't hold that many people, bro. There were more people, and I'm not saying this to throw shade. I'm saying it because it's a fact. Sometimes I state facts that sound like shade. There were more people in that arena for Mount Vernon versus New Rochelle basketball than there was for Victory Road. That's a fact.
Yeah. I think the hardest thing that they have to overcome, and this is the same thing with the old Ring of Honor, is being owned by a television company. Mm-hmm. When you are owned by a TV company, how are you ever going to expand? Because they're not going to put you on another network. They have a network that they can use you on. Why would they want you to get more exposure? Get us the exposure. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. So I think once you're owned by like a television company, it's bad news.
All day, Joel. All day, Joel. All day.
Look at this. I love it. Noob, welcome. I see you in here. Derek hating on Impact as usual. I'm not surprised.
and I want to say this too. I want to go on record. I want Impact Wrestling to succeed. I'm a fan of Impact Wrestling. I think I was on the phone with you one time. We were getting ready for a big WrestleMania weekend show we were going to do, and we were talking about. We just kind of stumbled on Impact versus New Japan, and I was like, it was just like deflating when I saw the arena and it was like 300 people. I was like, oh my God, I thought this was supposed to be a major show.
Like, they did that one in Toronto, though. They had a lot of people there, though. I thought it was more than usual. I thought it looked great, but that's in Toronto in that arena, though. E says TNA had number 2 status. Impact is a zombie, though. This is the issue. They're not on basic cable at NYC. I don't get them either in Buffalo. I pay for YouTube to watch it. It's $0.25 each episode. Pro Wrestler Shoot What's Good. They go live every Tuesday. Show them some love. See? Free publicity. Bro, I always come at the worst time. Impact talk. Y'all got to stop hating, man. Impact was a quiet number 2, but they never had a stable home channel. They did when they had Spike. They messed it up for Russo and Dixie, and the stars they created and the OGs they picked up to place, but then Hogan, Bischoff, and Russo. Russo was always there.
Look, what was it? January what?
4th, 2010.
January 4th, 2010. There was nothing hotter in the wrestling world than Impact Wrestling. Right? I mean, for that night, they were the hottest thing in the industry. Now, how could they bottle that up and make it last? Obviously, they weren't able to figure that out.
Yeah. Impact can't get the old UPN My 9 slot. No, brother. No, brother. That is precious time now for people. And let's talk more about AEW, like the modern day stuff. AEW is trying to get over the hump of the CM Punk situation. Him getting into fights with the Elite, him getting into fights with Jack Perry. A lot of people said that this was the beginning of the downturn for them. I would love to know what the chat thinks. If that was an issue for you, please let me know. Speak for yourself, though, and not for everybody. Mm-hmm. But was that a big issue for a lot of people? Or was it when me and Sean were first starting this podcast? I think it was Triple H was getting the hot hand. Everyone believed Triple H was booking until we slowly realized that's not true. That's not what's going on here. He wasn't booking it, but people started watching and paying attention to WWE again that SummerSlam weekend.
Yep.
We had a lot of returns and things happen.
Yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where you just kind of look back and you're like, wow, what could have been, right? But I told you, I think we're talking about this. I said a long time ago, I was like, if you think he's not sitting down with daddy-in-law and daddy-in-law is not giving his opinions at Thanksgiving and Christmas, you're out of your mind. And you know, and you immediately were like, Sean, you're right, and the chat picked up on it, Sean, you're right. And obviously, people knew that we knew what we were talking about. It was a situation that was very obvious. Vince had his thumbprint on the company, even though he was quote unquote gone. He was never gone. He was never gone. He was always around, and you could see that old Vince McMahon influence starting to creep its way in, and it's like a bad infection that won't go away.
Yeah, and it's still there, and I don't know what happened to the ideas when the stash knock it off the ideas of what Tony had when he initially started AEW. There was a different feeling to it in 2019 than it is in 2023, whether Punk was there or not. The change was happening after they got back from being off for the pandemic, we'll just say. When they were off for that, then things began to change for them. Did it change for the better, for the worse? I don't know. You got Punk. You had some different people coming. You signed Adam Cole. You signed Bryan Danielson. They were on a roll. MJF's the biggest star. And then it felt like within like the next year, it started to unravel though. People started getting a little big for their britches. You got people walking out on Fan Fest that are supposed to happen because they don't like their contract and they think they should get more money. You got people fighting backstage. You got EVPs not doing their jobs to the talent, and this is leading to fights. You've got wrestlers fighting backstage, and this ain't just about Punk and the Elite and all them. This is about every fight. You got people talking mess to each other on radio shows, and they're airing out grievances. You cannot have all this. And I think Tony Khan has made a big mistake management-wise in what he's been doing, and we've been saying this for weeks on here.
And it becomes a microcosm of what's going to be moving forward. You know, you have a situation where it's like, you know, art imitates life, but also the future imitates the past in many situations. And it's one of those ugly things where you just say, you know what, are we going to just grin and bear it as fans? Are we going to just grin and bear it? Or are we going to kind of just roll with it? Which brings me to what we were talking about during the week, which is like AEW almost kind of now needing that blockbuster debut on their pay-per-views now because of, I'm in the minority with this one, but in the whole hum kind of finishes that we've had, and especially over at All Out, that was weak. I mean, I know I have people that disagree with me, but
9.52 on Cage Match, the whole show, one of the best shows ever, people were saying. Sean, let me ask you this personally, and I think you're going to agree with me. I think people are compensating because CM Punk is gone. It's them telling themselves that this is still a good show. This is better now that he's not here. But I don't see it as that. Tony Khan disrespected us as fans. I don't know if anybody heard this in the media scrum when they said, hey, Tony, you know, people said the build to the show was kind of weak. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. And then Tony said, yeah, I think I'm going to start listening to the fans a lot less when it comes to that because we did an incredible show here tonight. We put on incredible matches. And I was like, wait a minute. I know this dude didn't tell me, someone who bought all of his pay-per-views, that you're not going to listen to me. And it's not that he has to. It's the fact that he was arrogant about it, kind of like, so you've listened to me every other time and it's gotten you this far. Now you don't want to listen to us? I don't get it. Like,
your word earlier was arrogant. My word earlier was complacent, and I think they tie together. I think Tony kind of starting to feel himself a little bit, and he needs to kind of come down off his high horse and realize, listen, bro. Listen, I'm going on the record again. I'm not going to go off on a tangent. All Out was whack, bro. I don't care what nobody says, bro. All Out was wiggity, and I don't care, bro. I don't care. All In was a really, really good show. I gave it a B+. People think I'm crazy for that. That's fine, but I'm not disrespecting the show. It was a B+. All Out was whack. And you need to take a long, hard look in the mirror, Tony Khan, and realize that show was whack, bro. And I don't care what you say. That show was not worth $50, man. I don't care what nobody says. That show was wiggity. Period. The highlight of that whole show was Samoa Joe pushing MJF in the ring. And that's facts.
I did like the last couple matches, but that was the best part of the first half of the show, was Joe and MJF getting into it. I will agree with that. Noob says AEW starting to go downhill. Pro Wrestling Shoe says, oh, this is probably connected. AEW started slipping after All Out 2022. Fans became divided, roster became divided, and the dirt she showed everyone shoot personalities. For me, it makes me look at everyone differently, like a dark cloud. McKinney, I feel AEW has to dig deep and find their identity. Are we sports-based or sports entertainment? Yeah, because, like, the tournament, bro. And, yo, I know people are like, yo, Conrad's just mad about CM Punk. I've been saying this for weeks. Go back and watch my Dynamite reviews. It's documented. Me and Derek haven't been feeling the shows before Punk even left. Like, they haven't been good. Like, there's just something off with them. Like, the booking feels weird. McKinney brings up, are we sports-based or are we sports entertainment? Sean, they did a tournament this week, right, for Grand Slam? It's going to be in your area. Are you going? Do you care to go?
I would have gone, but my interest has died down a little bit, bro. I'm not going to lie.
No, that's fair. That's I just wanted 100% honesty in the answer. So you see this. They did a tournament this week. Would you say Trent Beretta is a top contender for the world title?
I say Trent Beretta deserves an opportunity to be on TV, but he's not a top contender for the world title, no.
Would you say Nick Wayne is a top contender for the world title? Has he won a singles match besides one?
No.
Like, what are we doing? Like,
that's why I wasn't going to just completely, like, crap all over him.
No, I like Trent too, but he's a tag team wrestler.
Exactly.
What are we doing? And then, Roderick Strong came up. He's got some dubs, so I don't mind him. I don't mind Joe. But Jeff Hardy lost the Aussie Open. What is he doing in here? Like, you can't tell me.
I don't mind Jeff Hardy being in the tournament. There's no way he should win. I don't mind Jeff Hardy being a first-round exit. That doesn't bother me. But to your point, which is 100% accurate, you have people in this tournament that don't deserve to be in the World Championship picture, and it makes the tournament insulting. You can look at the brackets and see like two guys that deserve to be there.
And Pentagon, I can believe, because Rey Fenix has been out for weeks. He's been in triple threats. He's been winning matches. That's fine. It's when you start doing this stuff, man. Like, it's just disappointing to me a little bit how they did some of this. TK has to get control of the locker room and get help to write the show. I agree. Listen, if you guys have ever noticed, a booker's top booking time period is only been for like 3 to 5 years, maybe 5 if you're great.
Yeah,
3 is normal.
5 is elite, no pun intended.
Joel asked you who thought Punk was the problem backstage. Ew. You gotta tell the whole story too with those. Don't let me get into it.
I've come up with a phrase for Punk. It took me a long time to kind of articulate my point the right way, but I think this articulates the right way. CM Punk is his own worst enemy.
He definitely can be. Pro Wrestling Shoe says, now that TK says my opinion doesn't matter and he doesn't care about building stories and just booking wrestling matches ain't for me. Now, not why I started watching wrestling. Yeah. And here's the other thing. You can see banger matches on anywhere. I could go watch Impact if I wanted to watch fire matches. It's the stories you're telling that have to be good.
I'm saying it again, man. I'm saying it again. All Out was whack. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. All Out was whack, bro. It was just not quality pay-per-view television. Like you said, I think you put it in exact terms I think I would have put it, but I couldn't come up with the term. If that was Ring of Honor All Out, it would have been a good show. That was AEW All Out, bro.
And like I said, imagine, I don't care if Punk and Ricky were on the card. That was not a suitable card for $50. I do not care. And if Punk was there, I don't think they would have called Danielson back. I truly believe that.
Well,
we
talked about that. We agreed that was an 11th hour call.
Yeah. He was like, listen, I need you, bro, because these people are going to crush me out here. ZSJ versus Bryan Danielson will be fire at Wrestle Dream. Yeah, they've got that match on the card. I don't have an issue with that. That match looks great. Wrestle Dream's going to be in Seattle, Climate Pledge Arena. If you guys want to go, it's not that it looks bad. It's just you got to get people invested in the show. The first match was announced, and it was just Bryan Danielson came out and challenged somebody to a match.
Wow, what an amazing point that PWS just made. Wow. And I think that encapsulates everything that I've been trying to say.
Here, I'll pull it up for you.
Wow. I can watch banger matches on the indies. I watch wrestling. I watch television to be captivated. I stopped watching TV shows for less. I need some drama. He's joking around, but that's actually hitting the nail on the head. You cannot have Samoa Joe defending the television title in the second match of the night against, what was his name again?
Oh my goodness. My mind just went blank. I could see his face. Shane Taylor.
You can't have that as a pay-per-view match on All Out. First of all, up until 3 months ago when All In got announced, wasn't All Out their marquee pay-per-view? Isn't that like their WrestleMania?
It was. Well, the fans debated this for a while. Some people say it's double or nothing. Some people, I think they were trying to make each pay-per-view feel special.
Well, at the end of the day, it wasn't. It wasn't. All In was a B+, and I'll take all the heat in the world for that. That's fine. All In was a B+, but I'll put it to you like this, just to give you some fairness. All In did not fail. For a pay-per-view that sold 80,000 in-seat tickets, and probably in all the pay-per-view buys, they did not drop the ball. I don't feel like I got robbed by watching that show. I felt robbed watching All Out. When that show was over, I said to myself, and I'm staying on task here, Conrad, don't think I'm going off on a tangent. I felt robbed. And at the end of the day, I've been feeling robbed more and more often. Yo, Dynamite was trash last week, bro. Dynamite was trash. Because you know why I know? Because if you say Dynamite was okay, that means it was trash. Because
wow.
No, you know why? No, it's a compliment because you'll say, Sean, it wasn't that bad. But if you thought it was good, you'd be like, Sean, what are you talking about? That was a great show. You on your show Wednesday night with Derek, you said that means it was whack. That means it was whack.
I was trying to find something good to say about it. E says that he bought Grand Slam's tickets for the second year in a row, and he thought he was going to see Punk. He feels screwed.
You should feel screwed.
Because he bought him before. Derek says Tony needs to come off booking, and people were beefing before and after Punk. Yeah, well, here's another thing. Remember what Mark Henry said last week, Sean? We addressed it. I think I deleted the picture for it, so we can't bring it up this week. But everything should be sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. Punk's gone, right? Everything should be good. Santana and Ortiz tweeting at each other right on Twitter. There's problems. Quote tweeting each other. And that one hurts my soul because they were like brothers. They were like best friends.
Right.
And now they've got problems with each other. So that one hurts me like right here a lot. Punk and the Elite, they really didn't have a connection to each other. That'd be like watching Kenny and the Bucks fight. That would hurt too. Like that hurts to watch that because those were friends. Like Sean and Marty when they first broke up. Then that coward ran through the glass window. But it hurt watching that. Like, Tony's got to get stuff happening here. Didn't Trent win a triple threat with Penta and Mox? He won one match. One. He was also in a 5-man match, and he's been in nothing but tag matches with the best friends. I don't see you convincing me that he did something. Penta had multiple wins. That I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong for that. Moxley was in the world title picture. They beat BCC like drums, and now they can't get into the world title. Like none of them are in the world title eliminator tournament.
It's laughable. It's laughable. Yo, AEW. If WWE wasn't so bad, AEW would be on my crap list right now.
Danielson came back early and worked around the arm. He definitely did. Xavier says most of the AEW storylines rely on previous ROH rivalries in history. That's great that you have that history. All that I think they should do is tell people the story. Adam Cole, if you never watched it, bro, do you understand? Adam Cole and the Kingdom were once a faction in Ring of Honor. They've explained that. That's not an issue. They've even done the Roddy. I think everybody knows about UE. They've been trying to do that stuff. So we'll see. McKinney says, first people say TK was playing with action figures and talking to the talents loud. Now he's just playing Fight Forever with random pick mode. Tell me when I'm lying. Tokyo said, only world title contender in that tournament is Joe and Darby. Thank you, Joel. I missed this when I needed it before. Running match made. That's true. No, you're good, Jesse. I hear you, bro. Thank you for sending in the comment, though. ZSJ's been channeling Danielson, and plus ZSJ wins the Danielson Named Observer Award for average, but the average fan won't know that. There's still time to tell that story, too. It's not like I'm saying it's over. I would love to see them have some interactions before, though. Like, let's do something. Pro Wrestling Shoe says, I literally bought tickets for Collision for CM Punk. Then they fired him and refused to give me a refund. Wow. And Collision this week was different. You didn't feel like Collision of before.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. The audacity, and you've given me liable and viable reasons for the two pay-per-views back-to-back. For you to fix your face, and charge me $50 on back-to-back weekends, I didn't buy the daggone pay-per-view. There was no way I was going to buy the second pay-per-view.
He said the second pay-per-view sold 100K.
Well, that's a problem for me. Wrestling fans should deserve that. Wrestling fans should demand better. I wasn't even going to go here, bro. Yo. All Out was whack, bro. All Out was I don't know how or why I'm the only one who feels this way.
Listen, I thought they delivered a good show for what they had. I am with you though on the 50. I don't think that's a good idea to do anymore. I'm going to get into another point. I'm glad. Thank you for bringing that up because I almost moved on without saying something. They have things that are coming up. And they are making some mistakes with things, too. And I'll get into this one first. But we're going to move to WWE soon here. Trust me. With respect to AEW, they've got a lot of pay-per-views. They've added more pay-per-views. That's $50 a pop each time. You're not going to keep getting away with this. Like, people are not going to keep paying. Your sales are about to go down. It happens to WWE. It happens to everybody. You can blame WCW, actually, for a lot of these things. Why you don't believe in squash matches anymore, blame Eric Bischoff. Why you are mad that there's 12 pay-per-views a year, blame Eric Bischoff. But he generated a lot of money when he first did it. It was smart. It was smart at the time, but now it hurts the product. You could see long-term. What, you got a good comment here you want me to pull up?
Right there, bro. Tokyo
Which one, bro?
And PWS.
I was at the Diamond Collision. Little did I know that would be Punk's second to last match. Yep. That is true, Xavier. Tokyo the Menace said All Out is still a thing because TK wants a pay-per-view on Labor Day weekend. That's my point right here, Sean. Let me piggyback off of this. Should Tony Khan get away from his ideas of what needs to happen? Like every Labor Day, it's All Out. Every Memorial Day in Las Vegas, it's got to be double or nothing. Destination weekends. Is it what they do? I mean, WWE's following them, too. They're sandwiching a pay-per-view in there so that they can tire you out. Don't want any more of that AEW, do you? That's what they did.
No, that's exactly what they did. You're right.
So what do you think? If you're TK, do you keep those weekends? Do you like them on Labor Day weekends?
I like holiday weekends. I like Saturday pay-per-views on holiday weekends. I'm just so turned off by All Out. A pay-per-view. This is kind of like Prisoner of the Moment.
It was this Tuesday in Texas, bro. That's what they did. It was too fast of a turnaround to ask for $50 again.
But this Tuesday in Texas actually made sense. It didn't work, but it made sense. This Tuesday in Texas was nothing but a. What's the word I'm looking for? Nothing but a. What's the word I'm looking for? They tried it. It was nothing but a just
attempt, college try,
feeler, exactly, and it didn't work. So they abandoned it. They wanted where they tried to. Okay, Undertaker took the title from Hogan. Let's see if we can get people to pay another. And by the way, the pay-per-view wasn't as much money as Survivor Series. This Tuesday in Texas was $10 less, And we're talking about back in the days where pay-per-views were $29.99. So Tuesday in Texas was $19.99, right? So that's one thing. God, you got me back. You got me giving WWE credit. And then they sat up here and was like, okay, and it was a title change. It was a title change. On one pay-per-view, you had Undertaker win the title. On the other pay-per-view, you had Hogan win it back. That's worth paying $19.99 for. You're telling me that as great of a match as it was, you're telling me that Mox versus Orange Cassidy as the main event is worth $50?
They were really trying to sell fans on it.
I don't know.
McKinney says, where is Wardlow? Wardlow is probably still dealing with the effects of having all of his stuff stolen, his passport and everything. That's why he's been off TV, I'm guessing. Show us the rankings. For real. Bring it back. They've got Full Gear coming up. Like I said, they're trying to make some things happen. They're going to be in Lakertown, as you can see from what they have up there. And the last thing I want to touch on is just AEW's got to be careful not to show their backsides. I thought they did that recently with this Ace Steel thing. Bro, Ace Steel got released. Now, I know it involves the Punk stuff, but just think about this if you're Ace Steel for a second, Sean. And I want your opinion, then we're going to move to WWE. If you're Ace Steel, Tony Khan just fired CM Punk. Number one, I thought that he didn't need to say anything publicly. I think he did enough when he put out the press release. Perfect, good. I know he's gone. We're moving on. And instead, he rehashed it, that Collision show. He reminded you in Chicago, kind of like, hey, he ain't here. Take your signs down. I don't want to see him. All that stuff. And he basically silenced the fans. That's fine. Moving on. Why did Ace Steel get fired? He had a job, right? He had already been fired previously for the whole fighting incident and everything else. You chose to listen to CM Punk, and you chose as Tony Khan to bring him back. So what did he get released for this time?
For being CM Punk's friend.
That don't scream lawsuit? I don't know what does.
I agree with you. I agree with you completely.
I don't get it, bro. I thought it was a bad look.
I'm not going to sugarcoat that. He got fired because he's CM Punk's friend.
And it wasn't even like a week. It was like a week later. They're like, all right, that's enough time for you, my friend.
Yep.
What? But, if you would have shown us you were good for 6 months and we never told you, then we would have talked to you possibly. Maybe. Come on, bro. And I was arguing with people about that too. You can't put restrictions on people and expect them to read your mind.
Agreed.
If you wanted the behavior to change, you would have told him, even if he was faking it. Well, the behavior changed. We got what we wanted.
No, you're talking right, bro.
No, people were capping about that, and I'm just sick of it. AEW, get your crap together and make sure you do this stuff right, all right? Tony Khan, it's not over. It's not finished, but what I'm telling you is you're losing the race a little bit. You're slowing down. You need to figure out how to put this thing into full gear, no pun intended, and move forward.
To DVR Dynamite, that's a bad sign.
Matt Lopez says, what rankings, just like WWE did with the What Draft? You know that was a popular one by me for a while. What Draft? Miz is on SmackDown. I see him on Raw every week. What Draft? First it was cool, but now that WWE is involved, or WB, is involved, the pressure is to create more and is going to oversaturate the product. That's starting to slide into views, but money talks and BS runs a mile. They're going to do whatever WB says, so... Punk and Collision was well paced, but people want to give Brittle Danielson Booker of the Year. Yeah, people were tripping with that. Yes. Keeping Ace Steel just to make Punk happy, but unless there was a reason Ace shouldn't have gotten fired, because Punk felt he shouldn't have been fired. Like, there's more to this story. We don't know it yet, but I guarantee there's more to this story that hasn't been told. And we're never going to know everything. Now, tonight, Monday Night Raw starts in less than an hour. This is the last Raw that a McMahon will own WWE as a whole. They are going to be merged into a new, if you're a stock fan, the stock ticker is TKO Holdings. If you guys want to get yourself some stock, don't take any advice from me. I'm not saying a word to you about it, but up to you. TKO Holdings is going to be the new stock. WWE's value has went up. They are going to be getting into a relationship with Endeavor, who also owns UFC. Sean, what do you think or make of this?
It's much to do about nothing. Either product is going to change. I like the fact that the McMahon's not going to be in control, but then again, are they not really going to be in control? Vince McMahon's still going to have his stable print all over it. I mean, unless somebody stands up to him, he's still going to try and enforce his will. I mean, times they are changing. At the end of the day, it's a merger that signifies change in the industry. It's a move that signifies monopoly in the industry. Because now you have the biggest combat sports company in the world, the second place being Bellator, combining with WWE, the number one professional wrestling company in the world, second place being AEW, and they're trying to squash their competition by combining efforts. Just the fact that WWE is going to be associated with UFC, that even the most naive person is going to think to themselves, maybe a UFC person might show up, or even the most cagey UFC fan, maybe a WWE guy is going to show up. Now, people who have sense, like you and I, are not going to believe that, but at the same time, the relationship between WWE and Ronda Rousey is pretty strong, and the relationship between UFC and Ronda Rousey is pretty strong. So you just never know. So to answer your question, I don't think it's going to mean much, but I think it opens up a lot of possibilities that will never happen, if that makes any sense. It opens up the door for some dream situations that I don't think will ever come to fruition.
There are a lot of good things that WWE are doing right now, as much as it pains me sometimes to say it. WWE is focused. WWE is calculated. They have many things that they can do to just keep the ball rolling. The Roman Reigns storyline with the bloodline feels like it's jumped the shark a little bit to me. Like it's kind of, okay, we're over this. But they've been doing way too much teasing with Jimmy. Like it's just Jimmy Uso right now on SmackDown. And everybody's like, well, what's going to happen here? What are we doing? What's the next thing? You can't. The problem with WWE storytelling is they've been stretching things that should be done in a week or two for a month to a month and a half. And it takes way too long to get to the point. And Roman Reigns feels like the only focused storyline, something that needs to be talked about every single week, something that has built-in stuff. It looks like it's going somewhere. I don't feel the same way with Gunther. Gunther just broke Honky Tonk Man's record. Okay. He's the Intercontinental Champ, and we see bigger and better things for him in the future. That's where he is. Chad Gable cut a great promo, but did you see it? No. You know why? Because it wasn't on TV. You had to go on social media. You had to wait for someone else to post it. Chad Gable gave a great interview that should be on television. That is compelling stuff. I don't see what they're doing with some of this too. Like that, WWE can do it if they want to. They have to choose to do it. Chad Gable, I've said it for a long time, since American Alpha. That dude's a star in the making. And they are playing around, but they're finally starting to see, I think, like, hey, this guy's got something. There's people there with talent, Sean. Like, what do you see WWE doing right? What do you like at this point? I know it ain't much for you.
No, out of that diatribe you just came up with, which was about 95% accurate. WWE can do better. Of course they can do better. They don't give a crap. That's the point. This Endeavor deal, the TV deals, the money, the stocks, all these things that have the money continuing to roll in, even though they're delivering a subpar product. That's the issue. WWE can do better. Come on, my brother. Yes, we all know they can do better. They don't give a damn about doing better. They don't care. They are complacent because they are making money hand over fist. Because stupid people like me pay $9.99 a month for the network because we want to watch old Saturday night main events.
You pay for Peacock. WWE's got their money. You're giving the money to NBC Universal, to be fair to you.
Okay, well, thank you. That makes me feel a little bit better. But at the end of the day, WWE can do better. They don't care, bro. They haven't cared for a long time. There's no question that they can do better. There's no question that they can make the product better. But that would take investment on their part, and they don't care about making investments. You know why? Because unfortunately for us, Unfortunately for the viewers, when you have a company that is making more money than they can count, what motivation do they have to get better?
None, because I told you this the other day too. So let's get into, I know we talked about the positives and that was pretty quick, but we all know what WWE does well. We talk about it every week. When you look at the negatives, it's if you're an older fan like us, it's the realization that they don't care about fans anymore. This is to anybody in the chat. I don't care what your age range is. You know why? Sean just said, I pay for the network. He does. But WWE already got that money. So are they loyal to Sean, or are they loyal to NBC Universal, who paid them the billing? What? Who cares what Sean thinks? Bill down in accounting, what do you want to see on the show tonight, brother? The checks are coming this week, right? That's what they're asking. What do you want on the show? You want to talk about Raw? Because we're going to be bidding on that. Everything is business now. And that's who gets it. How many times have you heard SmackDown wants Brock Lesnar on the show this week? Who cares what SmackDown wants? What about us?
Exactly.
It's not the same company anymore. It's completely different. It's not about what I want. It's not about what Sean wants. It's about what the people who are paying them the most money want. And unfortunately, guess what, fans? You don't have enough money for them anymore. We don't have enough. It's not about the ticket sales anymore. They could care less if it's a half-filled arena. They got the Billy. Who cares? There's people in here. Interact. That's all they want. It's just wild to me.
It's a shame. It's a shame. I mean, I'm watching Sensational Queen Sherry choke out Jimmy Snuka while Macho Man Randy Savage distracts the referee. I'm captivated. I'm more captivated by this than I am about watching the live product. What does that tell you, bro? What does that tell you? I just watched back Money in the Bank to give it a little bit more present day reference for our younger viewers. I just watched Money in the Bank 2023, the Usos versus Roman and Solo. You know when I was watching that show? You know when I was watching that replay? During freaking SmackDown. During a live edition of SmackDown. I was watching Money in the Bank from 3 months ago. Like, I can't be the only one who feels this way.
No. He said exactly how I feel when I mentioned the Chad Gable stuff. Why are they putting promos and fights online? 3 hours of Raw and long pay-per-views ain't enough time? I agree. Is it $6 now for Peacock? I have not checked.
I thought it was $9. I thought you can get like the, I don't know. What do I pay for that thing?
I thought it was $5 at first, and it was like $9.99 for the ad-free, or maybe it was $15. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think I paid for the ad-free one. I'm bougie like that.
yeah, you're better than me, bro. When I was watching SVU earlier today, and I'm like, go ahead, sit there. I'll outwait you for the commercials. Listen, I needed a break.
My brother from another mother, I cannot. Once you go no commercial, you can never go back.
That's what everyone tells me. So maybe I better not get used to something my budget can't handle. Pro Wrestling Shoot says, I'm going to WWE this weekend. House show that sold more tickets than the last 5 Dynamites. Yeah, I don't. Sean, you know what I'm going to say. I don't get it. I don't get it that WWE's not that much better than AEW either. Like,
it's not.
But fans are into it right now. They got people buying the tickets. I can't say nothing else. WWE doesn't care about making the product better because that would be a good idea. You know what that means.
Willie, I appreciate you, brother.
Get the shirts from Sean, man. Sean's got them up on his site.
Yeah, you know what that means? Shirt is available right there on the website that I posted under my face.
There it is for you.
There
it is.
Thanks, sir.
McKinney says, I think WWE is so widespread across the multi-social media verse that they feel like if you're a fan searching for all the content all the time, but they missed the mark by not putting that promo on TV. Yeah. I agree. Man, Triple H was seen hanging out with the head of Amazon. WWE TV rights could be put on Amazon Prime in about 3 years. But how much money are they going to be willing to pay? Peacock's losing money by how much money they're paying out for these shows. Maybe it's a L for temporary, but we'll see. We'll see. Streaming and cable are battling right now. I am watching WCW 96, watching Colonel Rob Parker locking it up with Medusa. More entertaining than Raw. Here you go.
I love it, M. Leezy. I love it.
Oh, he said they raised to 15 for ad free. I thought I heard something about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on that low tier for me then. We good on that. I don't watch Peacock that much.
Cut it out. Look at that shirt.
Nah, because it says ad free during the pay per views. You still seeing those little? We'll be right back with you. Or you're watching some lame promos.
That's WWE crap. That's that WWE nonsense.
Yeah, that's what they're giving us. But like somebody said though, you can't be upset when look at the numbers WrestleMania's doing. They're pulling in bank for them.
Okay, but all right, let's have some perspective.
I'm about to flip it though. Okay. It is 2 nights.
Right.
They did try to topple it, but WWE are the masters of it's how you say it in marketing, not how it is. Like I said last year, we had more views than the Super Bowl. What? What? That was the first thing I thought of, but I also went to school and studied business. So I'm like, what did you just say?
Yeah,
let me see that. Mm-hmm. They're telling the truth. They probably did have more views than the Super Bowl on social media, but at the same token, you had 2 nights to do it versus the one of the Super Bowl. So it makes a difference. But WWE's still doing, like I said, I can't really hate on them business-wise. They're making money. They're doing things. They're selling. Sean, could you imagine Jake the Snake Roberts and Rick Rude in a Cinnamon Toast Crunch match?
No, but you know what? That's kind of like being a whore for the business, though, in my opinion. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm using the word that's proper context. I'm being professional here. That's the correct word. You're being a whore for the business. You got Cinnamon Toast Crunch on the Titantron while Rey Mysterio is in his match with Austin. That's ridiculous, bro. Do you understand how insulting that is to the viewer? That's ridiculous.
Right. Pro Wrestling Shoot says 90K tickets sold in 2 days. Yes, it's 2 days, but selling that many tickets in 2 days is absolutely nuts. It is, but it's also times 2, though. These are the hardcore fans that are going to go to both nights right away.
And also, it is WrestleMania, right? WrestleMania is the standard for pay-per-views. So at the end of the day, you sell 90,000 tickets for Survivor Series, then we can have a conversation.
It's coming up, Chicago. I think Chicago's the new Madison Square Garden. When I was a kid, the Garden was the best show, the best fans. I think Chicago has taken that place now. Chicago is the number 1 market. Bro,
disagree.
Listen, bro, y'all have that little Christmas house show all you want. I'm telling you, they don't get the big shows like they used to.
Oh, you're right.
They got to lower that price. Garden's bugging, but maybe they need to do that. Yeah, he said at them prices too. Sheesh. Yeah, it's hard out here with them prices.
Everything's going up, bro. Like, again, no free publicity, but there's a certain streaming service where you can watch TV shows, and their colors are green. Like, their literal colors are green. You have the one that's red. Then you have the one.
Does it rhyme with Ulu?
Yeah, it rhymes with foo-foo and doo-doo. Poo-poo. Right. $17 starting next month. 17. I remember when it was $5.99. And I don't want to be the grandpa on here, but $17.99.
Yeah, you know what that means though. That them pockets gonna have to come up too. Big Daddy Kush gonna need some more money in that check every week. Then, you want to start charging crazy? I'm gonna need to pay crazy then. Mm-hmm. So, it's like that right now, man. It's tough, and I think AEW raising their ticket prices too. If I'm AEW, I'm dropping them ticket prices a little bit.
Yeah,
you got to.
You
got to drop them a little lower, especially for that Grand Slam show.
And Eric Bischoff wasn't that bad. He did a lot of things wrong, but one thing he did right, give some free tickets away. When you're 2 hours from showtime and you know you're going to have a quarter of the house filled, give the freaking tickets away.
You got to do it before then, I think, too, to get people in, to give them the time. But, yeah, if you know that you're not going to sell it out, go ahead. He said, not the MSG Christmas house show. Y'all know what I meant, though. Like, listen, I love New York City. If they really wanted to, bring those big shows to the Barclays Center then. But I think Chicago is the new hot market, and I guess we can credit that to AEW, or when they first did the first All In. Chicago's been getting everything. They got Bound for Glory. They got Survivor Series. I'm like, yo, bro, we starving out here. Like, give some shows to New York. You know, we like shows here in Texas too. You know, Seattle like shows. They're just going to the same places over and over and over again.
But never forget SummerSlam in Nashville, right? SummerSlam in Nashville, that was a disgrace. That was a disgrace as far as ticket sales are concerned. They only sold half that building.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, my God. Look at Roman Reigns when he's celebrating with the title after he beat Brock Lesnar. Look over his right shoulder. There are no fans in the seats.
But wasn't that when they just signed for like another billion? Like, you know what I mean? Like, do they care? They're like, I don't care. I paid $1 billion. E also said AEW killed Chicago when they fired Punk because you can't play hide the gerbil with the fans. E, the way you say things, bro. The way you say things.
You got a way with words, my G.
But yeah, like, I really don't have anything else to say, man. I think at this point we could, if we want to put a bow on this episode, they can both do better for different reasons. WWE's got all the money in the world, and they can do whatever they want, but we're just asking for something different, to do something better. Like I said, at this point, do they really need to bring CM Punk back, Sean?
They don't.
Does WWE need to?
They don't need to. But I have an idea that's probably going to be like, oh, you're bugging, Sean. When you have a show like WWE has, you need to do things that just are unexpected to make people think that you give a crap. I'm throwing it out there right now, bro. How come, for once, how come LA Knight couldn't come out on Raw, hypothetically, no storyline intended, just throwing it out here as a hypothetical. Seth Rollins is in the ring. LA Knight cuts him off, challenges him for the title. Adam Pearce makes it official, and LA Knight wins. How come we don't deserve moments like that? How come we don't deserve freaking Mick Foley beating The Rock with Stone Cold's help at night? How come we don't get stuff like that anymore?
Yeah, that's a moment for me, bro. That's like one of the few Raws that I ever missed, and I'll always remember that. I was like, why wasn't I watching Raw this night? What do you mean Mankind won? Derek had to tell me at school the next day. That's how hot wrestling was. Don't get me started on people who try to minimalize the attitude era. It's also overrated, but don't minimalize it either. Derek watched that next day and was like, yo, Billy Gunn had a new theme song. This is how I remember this day, bro. He was sitting right in front of my desk. He's like, yeah, Billy Gunn came out to some new country song talking about his butt or something. I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about, dude? So he knew that, and then he was like, yeah, bro. And then, like, it was crazy. Stone Cold came out, was hitting people with chairs. That's how wild it was, bro. And I get it, though. They could add some spontaneity to it. Doing a 3-hour show is rough, too. Like,
Cody Rhodes come out, taking it back a couple months. Cody Rhodes come out, and Cody Rhodes is mad because Roman Reigns cheated to win at WrestleMania. And Cody Rhodes challenging for a rematch. But no, we're not going to give him a rematch. We're going to put him in a tag match. It's like, he challenged him for a rematch for the title. Give us a rematch for the freaking title. Are you telling me we can't see anything on free television ever?
No, not even that. What about the draft stuff? Jey Usos came over to Raw, right? Because of Cody Rhodes. He used his EVP skills. If you don't think that they're trying to take one to him, don't be foolish, people. They're not competition. We don't care about them. Spare me. Spare me with your lies. So they did that for Cody. And now they're like, well, SmackDown's going to get some people for this as a trade. And I'm like, great. That would be a great way to explain things. How hard is it, Sean, to be like, we want to trade somebody over to this show because we have a great matchup for them for WrestleMania. Do a trade. It's not that hard. Do we need Adam Pearce on every show acting like he doesn't know what's going on? I didn't see Roman cheat, but he sees everyone else cheat.
I'll tell you one thing. When 8 o'clock comes, if Hulk Hogan is still defending the WWE Championship against the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, like it's going on to my immediate left, I'm not turning the channel. I'll tell you that much.
Would you beat someone like Nakamura after telling them Seth Rollins is hurt? Way to poo-poo on Nakamura like he couldn't beat her. You know who else they did this to, Sean? I'll never forget this. You know who lost to someone who was hurt one time and I never looked at them the same?
Who's that?
Al Snow. Al Snow could not beat Shane Douglas with a broken forearm. Do you remember this? He wrestled him at an ECW pay-per-view. And I was like, Al Snow couldn't beat this dude? Why did you tell me that? Have Shane cheat. He just, bro. And Al Snow was super over at the time. I don't care what anybody says. Al Snow and the head thing and the upside down camera and all that. Al Snow was fire back then to an extent, with reason. But you can't have guys lose to people who are hurt and then expect people like, oh, I still care about Nakamura. Bro, he just lost on pay-per-view. Move on. That's one of the things I appreciated about CM Punk's 434-day reign. I beat Bryan Danielson, and then he rematched him when they had a draw. Then he moved on. Then he beat Cena, and then he moved on. You know what I mean? Like, go to someone else. You can have a different match with someone every month at this point. It's not necessary to rematch.
They're going to run it back at Fastlane.
I just don't get it, you know? BJ comes in. Derek, I'm not repeating that Billy Gunn song. BJ says WWE don't compete like they used to anymore. That's why they don't do it. WWE drafts are jokes, completely pointless. McKinney said, I think AEW is coming here soon, like the 23rd. I'm really not interested. I got my EPW shirt this weekend. I might go last minute if I ain't got nothing else going on that day. It's a Saturday. And Doug said, what does everybody want? I have a mannequin head, but I'd have to knock down the screen behind me to get to it. But, yeah, Al Snow. Who would have thought we were talking about Al Snow today? Al Snow's that boy.
There you go.
Big fan. But, Sean, do you wanna put a bow on this? I'm going to let you close this out here tonight.
Yeah, man. I mean, WWE's trash. AEW.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah, that's what it is. You know, I don't know.
That's Sean Hubbard at Hub W Weekly. If you guys want to send your shots,
yo, hire me and I'll help you make it better. Hire Conrad and he'll help you make it better. You want somebody? I bet you the chat would agree. If they brought us into the fold, we make the product better. But hey, that would be a good idea. You know what that means. So at the end of the day, all I know is this: Conrad and I are continuing to bring you guys the fire. We appreciate you guys so very much. We do not take you guys for granted. It's certainly one of those things that just mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because BJ is funny. It's just one of those things that we just look back every week and we're like, wow, you know, the fact that people give a crap about us, it means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to Conrad too. You know, God bless you guys. Be encouraged. Continue to do your thing. Continue to believe in your dreams and never give up on them. Hubbard Wrestling Weekly is here. Everything Pro Wrestling is here. Some potentially big news coming up in the world of boxing. I'm going to keep it under my hat. My sources say that it's not official yet, so we will keep it under wraps for now. But I do think there's some potential good things coming up in the world of boxing. Check my social media. Go get a shirt, man. Go get a shirt. hwweekly.threadless.com or go to Everything Pro Wrestling's online store on TeePublic. Either way, you'll be very happy. And Doug, thank you, man. Yes, it's a crazy storm right now, and I appreciate those well wishes. That's very kind of you, brother. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Between Doug talking about the storm and telling me to be safe, the kind words of encouragement from McKinney, you know what I'm saying, the banter back and forth with BJ, the words of encouragement from Quills, the funniness from E. You know, you guys are awesome. Jocelyn coming in when she's half asleep. Yo, it means a lot to us. So with that being said, he's Conrad, I'm Sean, and this is Clash of the Podcast. Remember, like I said, keep God first and evil never prevails. We'll holler at you next week.